Hello, worldies, and welcome back to my naughty little channel. Today, I want to talk about why some women find it just so hard to level up. You may be wondering why. Why do I feel like this type of topic is so important? Well, for me, one thing that I love to do when it comes to dealing with haters or detractors or anything like that, anybody who's like a non-supporter, anybody who's just background noise when it comes to your life, you can always take that opportunity to learn from them, learn from what they're doing wrong. Now, we already know that one, they're overly focused on you, so that's one thing that they're doing wrong. Where their attention goes, that's where their energy is going to flow. So they are sending a ton of energy your way all the time. Hypervisibility is energy. That attention is currency. When people are analyzing you, when people are judging you, even when people are supporting you, all of that is energy. People are always perceiving you. People are always commenting on you. They're looking at you. They're consuming you. They're critiquing you. All of that is energy. You have power what you do with that energy. And you also have the power to look at the people who are sending you that energy and analyze it and see what can you extract from that? What can you learn from that? So when it comes to the people who are sending an excessive amount of negative energy your way, the reason that they have all of that energy pent up is because they're paying attention to you. They cannot look away even if they wanted to. They could not keep up with what you're doing. They could not form opinions on what you have going on your life, on your choices, your values, your aesthetic, your body, your diet, your workout routine, your goals, anything. They could not look away if they wanted to. They are deeply magnetized to you. Whether it's for them to be magnetized to you and send you positive energy or negative energy, they're paying attention towards you. Their feet are pointed towards you in a room, even when they are not trying to do that. They're listening in on your conversation when they're all the way on the other side of the room. They could have people trying to talk to them on one side of the room, and they're paying attention to the fact that you didn't talk to them, or who is talking to you, and what are they talking to you about. So when you're dealing with a person like that, who all of their energy that's negative, they're sending towards you. The reason they're doing that is because it's the path of least resistance for them. It's easier to them to divert their attention over to you and to project all of their fears, all of their traumas and insecurities onto you, as opposed to putting the energy into shifting their own outcomes, their own realities. Now, why is it so easy in their mind to basically be your hater, and it's so hard to be motivated to glow up and level up and achieve the things that they really want, instead of hating and envying whatever you have, feeling as though you are the reason they don't have what it is that they desire, instead of them just taking responsibility and ownership over what it is they want. They have this identity where the things that they want don't even seem possible for them. I saw this meme the other day that said something to the effect of, when people thought I was competition even at my lowest, that's how I knew I was the one. I say this on my channel sometimes. It's not just, on you. Sometimes it's in you. When it comes to these people that you see, you can see two people from the same family, the same neighborhood, the same school, the same sports team, the same college, the same sorority, whatever it is. And they can go down, it seems like at a certain point their paths are going down the same line maybe, and then they just veer off. There's a fork in the road, and one just becomes the star. One becomes the successful one. One becomes the object of desire and praise and envy. And then the other one is the one who is the envious one. A lot of it is an identity thing. If you ask many people who've been able to see an insane amount of material wealth, like an unimaginable unimaginable amount, like just unfathomable. Such a big number that I can barely get through these words. These are these people who, maybe they came out of struggle. Maybe they came out of poverty. Maybe they came out of just middle class. Maybe they're just a regular person, whatever. Maybe they had a hard time. Maybe they got it all and had to get it all back again. There are these people who, maybe it was as a child, maybe it was in middle school, whenever, something clicked in their mind. Something clicked that their identity was, I am not an impoverished person. I may be, this is a certain point in my story right now. This is where I'm at. For a lot of those people, where they were and where they are now, there's such a huge gap because they already knew they were destined for that. They had this identity of, they already moved like. There are a lot of people I notice who, when it comes to certain prescriptions, as far as the solution to maybe the Black community's problems and things like that, they seem to think that just, reparations, just give all these niggas some money. And it's wild to me. I always think about the fact that I'm like, there are so many people, who are in that financial position, and their positions can drastically vary in the Black community from, the most middle class, upwardly mobile person and the person who's broke in the hood. And even if you only gave it to the people who were broke, it doesn't matter. Financial literacy is invaluable. Money does not equal financial literacy. Money does not equal impulse control. It doesn't equal, knowledge of stocks and investments and of the economy and of, micro and macroeconomics. It doesn't mean that you understand, cryptocurrency or the industry trends, what's going on with the market. Dropping a boatload of money on an egghead is just like going to create an egghead that has a whole bunch of money. I don't know why I'm using that word egghead right now, but a dummy, like, it doesn't matter how much you shine up a turd. And I'm not saying like being financially illiterate makes you a turd, but you're going to make turdy and crappy decisions financially, no matter how much money somebody gives you. And I say this to say, no matter where you are, if you're the person with the privilege, don't ever sit there and just be giving charity to the people who are, lesser privileged, because I've gone through this myself too, just being like, at a certain point, you have to think that maybe it's a God complex. Maybe it's a superiority complex. Maybe you have to check yourself. Maybe this person wants to be fat. Maybe they want to be ugly. Maybe they want to be dumbed down. Maybe they just want to be mediocre. Stop feeling like you're doing somebody a service by trying to go highlight all of their mediocrity and how average and amateur they are. That doesn't help in any way, shape, or form. I'm not saying that any of my subscribers do that, but you're not doing anything by just like all of this trying to reach back and stuff. Unless you're reaching back to the youth. Grown people are grown people. They're responsible for their own decisions when it comes to your privileges. You don't have to like donate your privilege, donate your time, your skills, your efforts, your abilities to the ungrateful. Because one, you're the one who has the most to lose in that situation. And it honestly puts you in danger. I feel much safer in positions where I'm the one who has the most to gain, because I'm going to go in and learn all the information, get all the resources and everything. I'm not the one who's, of course, due to my beauty, my charm, my personality, my magnetism, of course, I'm going to deal with some sort of hypervisibility and people wanting something from me in that space. But they may not necessarily be wanting, my resources. They may want my time. They may want my ego stroking. They may want proximity to me. They may want, to experience me. They may want something they believe that I can make them feel. But it's not that, I am the millionaire in the room and everybody else in the room is in poverty. Maybe they may want your beauty and, your beauty skills, access to your information. Maybe they may want information about how you articulate yourself, or the information that you've picked up through educating yourself. Maybe you have skills, talents, and abilities, but I prefer to be in a room of peers or in a room where I feel much lower than everybody else where I can be the one who can learn. I don't necessarily just always want to be around people who are looking up at me like I'm far away off on some pedestal. That's why with my channel and this community, I love being around other women who they're all on these different journeys, and we can swap information because we're able to be valuable to each other, as opposed to me having to basically watch my back and feel unsafe and feel like I'm surrounded by envy, or I'm surrounded by people who don't really mean me well. That's not helpful. That doesn't do, at least in my mind, that doesn't do anything to help me. I always think about what's the most effective way to use my time to achieve my goals. And for me, as I have the identity of a certain type of person, and I like to be around people who already have that identity themselves. That's how they see themselves in the world, or they are working on forming that identity and shifting that, maybe an old identity, cementing the new one in to their psyche. It's hard to level up if you don't see yourself as somebody, if you don't even see it. That is actually how I make certain decisions is, can I see myself in a certain life? Can I see myself living there? Can I see myself working that job, in that relationship, going to that hangout, going to that friendship? Can I even see it? A lot of times that is people's limiting beliefs, and that in and of itself can be something that you need to shift, or that you could benefit from shifting. That is why some women are able to manifest in easy mode. They're able to glow up and level up, on easy mode, because they have this identity of this ever growing, ever changing, multi-talented, multi-passionate type of woman. They see themselves as a type of person who can easily be fluent in 8 languages and easily be talented at like 7 different things. I'm not talking about being necessarily a jack of all trades, but the type of person who has this, this mental identity of, maybe I'm a master at my craft, maybe I'm a master of all trades. I don't have to be a jack. Think about like a card deck. A jack is going to be outranked by a king or a queen in our case, ladies. I don't have to decide that I'm just going to be poorly skilled at many things. I can be a master at everything. I can be fluent at every single thing that I put my mind towards. And, some people, they may think of you, let's say you're ambitious or you're an overachiever, or they think that you're a perfectionist, something like that. It's not necessarily that. It's just that, you free up a lot of time and you're not hating on other people. You have so much time. When you're not doing, people will spend so much time doing the most ridiculous, unhealthy, self-sabotaging, things that are actively going against the things they claim that they want, because on some deep level, they form some sort of agreement where they are leveled down, they are dusty, they don't deserve the things that they claim that they want. You have to decide, what is it that I have agreed to? For me, that was a game changer. Looking at my life and seeing, everything that you have, if you're ever around somebody who's just always complaining, something that you can realize that this is the type of person who agrees to things without looking at the terms and without having the accountability to understand that they agreed to it. Every good thing that I have in my life, it's because I agreed to it. I formed an agreement in my identity, deep down in my psyche, that I have these things and they stay and I'm worthy of them, and that they want me more than I want them, and that they're chasing me, whether that's money, a living situation, a friendship, a life, a career, finances, an experience, a surprise, something, an aesthetic, a weight loss goal, a hair length goal, having a certain, glow from within to your skin. I formed deep down in my psyche that these are things that I have, that I deserve, it's not too much. Everything that you want, you have it on another timeline. There's no reason that you can't have it now. There's no reason you can't bring it into the physical. unless you're the type of person who just believes that the things that you want, that you're not good enough for, they're far away from you, you're not worthy of them, you can't reach them, they're forever out of your grasp. It's like a carrot on a string that you're just this lowly person chasing behind. You're never actually going to get them. You're never actually going to live in that season and live in the season where you have all of your manifestations. You have everything that you prayed for, everything that you wrote down, everything that you journaled. There are some people who all it takes is a pencil or a pen and a little piece of paper. Oh, there are some people, I don't know, I'm one of those people. All it takes for me is a journal. Every good, beautiful, joyful, precious thing that I had in my life at any point, anything that I have now or that I've ever had or that I ever plan to have that I still desire to receive, every juicy, beautiful thing in life, all I've ever needed to do was feel it in my heart, desire it, and say, yep, that it's going to happen. Whether it's a vehicle, a job, a move, a partner, a child, a pet, my apartment being decorated a certain type of way, even this channel, every season that I've ever walked into and gotten to live in and just experience and just reap my harvest, it's always been seeds that I planted. So think about the seeds that you're planting in your identity. What are the stories that you're constantly telling yourself? If your life was a movie, what would you title it? Who would play you? What type of music would be playing in the background? What story is this that you're living out right now? Is this a story of triumph and success and of glowing up and social climbing and social power, and a story that has a happy ending and there are all of these happy times? Some people, they have a story where maybe there's a happy ending, But in order for them to get to that happy ending, they've got to go through a lot of pain and strife and a lot of struggle. And oh my God, it's damn near a story like Job. Are you Job? Do you have to lose it all just to prove that? I'm not going to get biblical or anything like that because I don't even really know that story too well. That makes me sound like a heathen, but I'm being real on my channel. What story are you in right now? You should really think about that. What identity do you have? Because the people who can level up on easy mode, they're telling a story, the movie of their life, the story that they believe that they're in, that they're acting in or whatever, that they're the main character in. That is a character trait of that character, of that actress, of, their self, is that they always get the guy and the job and the money and they booty get fatter and their waist gets snatched and they get prettier every day, and that's their story and that's who they are. So what kind of story do you want to have? What kind of story are you in? Are you the type of story where you're the side character watching another girl always get everything that she wants? Because if you're the side character in your own life, you're going to be the hating, the envious type of woman. But when you're the main character, people may think that you're conceited, but you're going to be glowing up. You're going to be leveling up. You're going to be enjoying every single season that you find yourself in. Or, you might not enjoy every season. Well, to be honest, I'm not even going to lie. There are seasons when you're that girl in your story, it may be such that even in the bad seasons, even in the seasons where you're like, that's supposed to be the worst season, you still had sunshine, you still had joy, you still had love, you still had peace. And that can be one of those invaluable things that will have people being envious of you. You went through what with a smile on your face? You went through what? Looking like a bad bitch every day? And that's how it is sometimes. So what do you think, worldies? Let me know down in the comments below. Until next time, eyes on the prize.